you hear him saying to her, "Why was your doors open in the rain, Gemma? Like, is it because your car stunk of decomposing body, Gemma?" And she just keeps saying, "No comment, no comment." Like, it's really interesting to watch it all. Absolutely horrific. And she has, oh, I'll get into that in a minute. Sorry, I'll get carried away with it. So where did I get to? So yes, so they put her door in the middle of the night. I've also got that footage. They arrest her, and she's so matter of fact. Like, if someone knocks on my door and said you're being arrested for murder, I'd be like, what the bloody hell are you talking about? She was like, oh, okay, can I get my shoes on? Like, what? It's bizarre to watch. The whole thing is bizarre. And when you've been in there, when I describe what she was like as well, she's a very strange person. So she's been arrested, she's on remand, and then I move on to C Wing, and that's how I meet Gemma Mitchell. And obviously I had no idea at this point what she'd done. None of it had been out in the news. There was rumours. Now, people would bully Gemma. So when people were telling me that she cut someone's head off and put them in a suitcase, because I think that a report had come out about it, but it wasn't like all over like it did once I got out of prison and the court case had finished. Then it was everywhere. All the details came out. But because the court case was still going on, there wasn't that much. So when the girls said this, right, I thought, hey, is it true? Or are they saying it because they don't like her? Like, I couldn't work it out. And I don't like bullying. I hate people being bullied. So I was nice to her. And now I feel bad, like, that I was nice to her because of what she's done. Like, I'd help her out. Like, I'd give her she was always hung. But right. So she was a massive hoarder on the outside. And in prison, me and the other girls noticed that she'd hoard food. Like, she'd constantly be asking people, oh, have you got biscuits? Have you got fruit? And people used to get angry with her because she'd just go on and on. So the girls behind the servery weren't a fan of her. So if she asked for anything extra, they'd tell her to F off. So she'd come and ask me if I could go and get it for her. And I would get her like an extra milk or an extra pack of biscuits because I just felt bad. And then, so go on.
Before you found out her crimes, what was your first impression of her?
Never ever would have guessed. Never. She was like, she'd speak like, she was really well spoken, like, oh, I guess I lived with my mother. Like, her demeanor was so calm. It was almost, well, I suppose, but psychopaths are normally quite charming. She
Yeah.
wasn't. She was like, it was like she had no emotion. There was no emotion there. The only emotion people ever saw was when, so some people used to go to classes and like do like English or whatever. And I think she'd started doing it because she was bored. She didn't have any friends. And someone was tapping a pencil like on the desk. And the only time that her character slipped was then, and she's turned around and going, shut up. And everyone was like shocked because normally she'd see, so as people, I wasn't there. This is what I got told, but I know the person that told me didn't talk like rubbish. So I have no reason to not believe it happened. So like, it's like her mask slipped for a minute. I don't know if she's a bit more horrible now because maybe she didn't want to be because she was on trial. I don't know because I haven't been in there since she was found guilty. I'd come out by that point. Is there anything you want to ask before I carry on?
So during your time in Bromsfield that time, was there anyone else in there prolific?
Okay, so there was not, no, I wouldn't say prolific. There was a girl that had got 17 years because she broke a man's neck, but she's not like well known.
She broke a man's neck. Was it a partner, ex-partner?
So from the story that I heard from her version of events, because I forgot her surname, so when I got out, I couldn't look it up. I think this guy owned like a hotel but it was kind of like run down, and he was letting her stay there for favours. No, sorry, he was letting her stay there, but he was expecting favours. And when he tried to, she freaked out because she was on drugs, and she stamped on his head, and it's broke his neck. Yeah, that's what she told me anyway. That was what she said happened. She got 17 years. So it wasn't until the next time I come in that I met quite a lot of girls that have been given long sentences since I got out.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So you were released after 6 weeks.
Yeah, but I don't know how.
You don't know how. Like, talk us through your release.
So yeah, I got out, and do you know what? I was only in there 6 weeks, but still, everything seems so weird when you come out because you're just used to this little cage of the bit outside, and it's just the noise and everything. It's just so weird coming out. It's like I lived in the town that I lived in my whole life, but when I come back, it was like it just looked different. Just for a few days, it just looked different. I did move house in the end, but because I got in trouble because of my door getting kicked in and my neighbours complaining, so I did end up having to move. But I'm still in the same town, just in a different area of it.
And when you were released then, where did you go?
I went back to the house because this is before I lost it. It was the second time I went in that I got told, like, that's it.
And how long was it till you got up to no good again?
9 days. 9
days.
And yeah, and I do have a lot of regrets, and I know I talk about that, but I do feel bad because I got in a bar fight, which I think what I got told by my friend was I was falling asleep because I was drunk. I don't know why he kept serving me. He could see that I was getting more and more into a like drunken stupor. So I'm falling asleep, and he's come and like woke, like gone like that to wake me, like, come on, you've got to leave. And I don't know if it's trauma. I don't know what caused it, but I've turned around and just smacked him. And then obviously, like, he's like, get out. And then I'm getting angry. And then the police turn up. And then someone said to my mate, she's outside fighting with the police. So my friends come running out, and they got me on the floor. And then I've wrapped my legs around the police officer's legs, and I've yanked him with my own legs, so he's hit the floor. So I'm wrestling with two of them. In the end, I got pepper sprayed. I always got pepper sprayed, but that just made me more angry for some reason. So I'll just carry on, but blindly. But they managed to get me in the van in the end, and then obviously straight back to Bronzefield. But I didn't care. I walked in. So when I walked in the next time, do you want me to go on to that bit?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so obviously I've gone straight back. I wasn't really bothered because at this point you've got to remember I had nothing really. Like my kids, I weren't allowed to see my children. Like everything had gone. My house was destroyed, so I really didn't care because I knew I was going to get food. I knew like I was away from alcohol, away from my horrible ex, and I was being made to take my medication on time. Like, they couldn't force me, but they're giving me a structure that I didn't have because I was not able to organize my life because of the chaos that was going on. So anyway, so I've gone back in, and I've walked into so I've been processed, took photo, all that lot. Sent me in to this holding room. They've got these big blue plastic sofas. You can't move them. That's why they're like. That's why that's why they are the way they are. So there's a lady sitting there, and she won't mind me saying her name. Her name's Nikki, and there was another lady there, and so I've walked in, and I'm like, I can't remember. I had something in my arms. That was it. They give you like a big net bag with like plastic plate and socks and stuff like that. So I've walked in with that, and I'm like, "You're right." And she went, "Why are you so happy?" And I was like, "Well, I just don't know. I'll just back see me mates, like, because I've made quite a few friends that didn't bother me." which is terrible. But prison was actually better than being outside for me at that point. Now I'd be devastated if I got taken back, because I've got like things to lose. I had nothing to lose then. So that really helped me, because I saw some women, they were really struggling. They were really struggling because they've been taken away from a good life, or like, you know, they had something going on that they were missing. But anyway, I digress. I always do that. So they put me in this room, and me and Nikki were talking to this other lady, and mid-sentence she would just go, and we were like, because we thought she was joking at first, so we kind of giggled, and then she'd just go back to normal and carry on talking. It was bizarre. So we didn't say it to her because it's mean, but between us, we nicknamed her Antifreeze.
Oh.
We never said it to anyone else, right? I know it's mean, but
You're a terrible person.
I am, but you know, it was me and Nick. We had to kind of like make a little joke of situations. We didn't say it to anyone else, and we never said it to her because I don't like bullying, but yeah, that is what we said between ourselves. But so then they put another lady in with us. This just gets crazy, right? So keep in mind, this whole thing spans over 4 hours. We were locked in here, right? We put another lady in, and this lady really like almost shaved red hair, like ginger hair, really slim, looked really mentally unwell, pacing back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, looking out the window, sitting down, curling up in a ball, like obviously not well. So me and Nikki we were just like kind of trying to have a conversation between ourselves, and then the other lady was kind of half joining in, and then like it was weird. It was a weird situation. And then this girl, the girl with the short red hair, has come up to me, and she's lifted her top up, and she's gone, "Scratch my back." Right? And I've looked at Nikki, and I'm like, no, I'm not scratching your back. Like, so we kind of like had like giggled, like, what's going on? What is going on? So then they then put someone else in. It just gets worse and worse. So this poor lady, though, I do feel sorry for these people, because they shouldn't be in prison. They should be getting mental health help. Prison helped me with my mental health, because mine was bad, but theirs is so severe. They need to be like sectioned, and they're not. They're put in prison. So this lady come in. She's really large lady, really smelt of urine. Her hair was all matted. And when you go in, they'll give you like a little microwavable meal. Like, it's horrible, but you're hungry, you're going to eat it. So she sits there. The other girl's going back and forth.